gamers and friends. I'm Witten. I'm the owner of Witten Financial Services. Welcome to our channel. As an avid gamer myself and a financial planner in real life, I oftentimes hear my clients and my friends say, I want to be a gamer. I want to get into this stuff, but I've got limited money. How do I do this? How do I get started? So I'm here today to give you some tips on how to get started being a gamer on a budget. The first thing I want to show you was the name of our video, how to start in D&D for 10 bucks or less. So, if you take a look, here's our 10 bucks or less setup. Ta-da! You got a pen, you got some paper, you got a set of dice, you got some buttons or coins or glass beads or whatever you have laying around the house to represent player tokens. And then, of course, you've got good old Google. Good old Google has all the rules you need to play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons because they are under the Wizards gaming license where they're of uniform availability and use. So a trip down to your public library, looking up the rules, the pen, the paper, the dice, the tokens. The most expensive part of this setup is going to be the dice. Dice can range in price anywhere between $3 to $4 for a very basic set. You're probably looking at about an $8 or $9 set here. And they can range in price up to hundreds of dollars because, well, they're dice, and gamers are crazy about dice. So this setup here is your $10 setup. You're ready to play. Moving on, when you decide you like the game and you decide you want to spend some more money on the game, or if you've been in the game a few months and you've just saved up your monthly allowance and want to expand your player knowledge of things, you'll go into your friendly game store. And you might buy a set of core rule books, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Manual, and the Monster Manual. Then, you're still going to need that same pen and paper. And instead of using coins or buttons, you might want to buy some little plastic figures to represent your heroes in your game. Represented over here. Oh, and then, of course, you're going to need more dice. Because giant fireballs take lots of dice. And so, by the time you've played a few months, you're going to need a lot more dice. So understand, dice you're going to buy a lot of in this game. Other than that, this setup you can get for roughly $200. The main value in that is in the books. The books are about $50 each. If you don't want to run this game for other people as a Dungeon Master, you can save $50 by not buying the Dungeon Master's Guide. That's the one laying open here. But if you want to do it right, you probably want to own all 3 core books because you want to know both the rules the Dungeon Master knows and the rules the player should know to give you the best problem-solving ability on any adventure. Now, let's put that aside for a minute and let's fast forward to a year. My teenage son, Luke, come to me about a year ago and wanted to know if I'd ever heard of the game D&D, to which I very politely laughed, yes, because I've been playing D&D probably 30 years. And he asked if we could play. And I was like, it gets expensive, don't know if you're going to like it, things like that. Let's start small. So we started very similar to what you've seen already. And over the course of a year, we've taken a little money out of our monthly budget. We budget for entertainment just like everybody else does. But we've put it back into our game. And so this setup here you're looking at with the plastic trees, the resin models, the big bad dragon up here in the corner, the dry erase maps, and of course, piles more dice. Did I say there were dice in this game? This all ran about $600, or in terms of budgeters, $50 a month or less. And the good part is, it didn't all have to be bought at once. We saved our money, we spent it out of cash flow each month a little at a time, and we bought the trees this week, and we bought the rocks the next month, and we bought some of the minis the next month. And over time, instead of spending a large pool of money all at once, we spent little bits of money and built out a wonderful fantasy world for our players to enjoy. I might add, we do stream our little episodes on Sunday afternoon on Twitch. Look for the username Lark2. That's my son Luke's channel. Where we get into all sorts of hilarity which brings me great joy because I'm the storyteller and the DM. There's no telling what these teenagers and these adults will get into because they're all new to D&D as of a year ago. So we get into some pretty sticky situations. And of course, no DM is incomplete without a big bad guy to scare your characters a lot. So here's Mr. Tiamat, the five-headed dragon, a little pet. That's the great part about being a DM. You get to control things like this and scare the pants off of your players. It's so much fun. Isn't that right, Tiamat? Yeah. So to wrap up, let me talk to you about planning and from a gamer standpoint. To get into gaming can be expensive if you do it the way that a lot of people do it, and that's just go into the store and buy $1,000 worth of stuff. But that wreaks havoc on your budget. Not many people can go out and spend that kind of money in one snap, right? And what often happens when they do that is they'll buy all the stuff, but then they won't find anybody to play or that's interested in playing, and so that stuff will just sit in a closet or a drawer or a whatever, and eventually will become worthless, unless you're lucky enough to find a rare die or a rare figure or something like that. Regardless, you're not going to get your money back out of it. I'll tell you that much. However, what you can do is use your money to bring joy and happiness to others, including yourself. And that's the point of all this. The key part to making all this work is imagination. Doesn't matter if you've got coins on a piece of paper or if you've got little plastic guys on a fancy map. If you don't have a DM with an imagination and you don't have characters who want to be good at problem solving, it's not going to be the game for you. However, if you're on the fence about which one of those you are, I would encourage you to tune into our live streams on Sunday afternoon, where all we do is play in D&D. And we get into some hilarious scenarios. Our group's ages 9 to 50. And they all get into shenanigans. And it's so much fun. And it's a great way to share your wealth with others. So for now, I'm Aaron Witten, avid gamer and financial planner. We hope to see you back on our channel soon. Please subscribe on your way out or make a comment. And we'll see you next time. Happy gaming.